Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Christopher Michetti of RAQ.
That's weird. I found a Facebook interview with you, and somebody from the crowd chat asked if Rack would ever play, and you said something along the lines of, "When we played the songs all the time, they were fantastic. When we started only playing them a couple times a year, it didn't work as well." You think that's
Interesting.
different now?
I think you got to be on it, and you got to. Okay, I think the improvisation is better now. I think if we were to play every day, it would be we'd crush it. Like
Your
it would
next
be
level.
like wow, and I bet we'd probably if it was a machine. I don't know how realistic that is. I mean, I would love to get in the studio with the gang and just make it happen just for like a week, but I mean, everyone's got to make a living, so it's a little tougher, I think. Than so, I would think that the tightness of the music would certainly benefit from playing it every day, but the sheer just like here's the jam to Beauregard, it's like, oh, this is so much fun,
How do you approach improvisation as a band?
Yeah, well, now like it's more of that. Okay, interesting question. It's shifted, right? This is interesting. So I would think in the late 2000s when we had our kind of moment and we're at High Sierra, we were trying. I mean, I know I was trying to impress people, and probably in the back of my mind it was like, well, I could do this that he can't do, and do that never works. Like it just the second, at least for me, I'm talking for me, second I'm trying to impress you is the second that you literally, you the audience, just like, okay, like I wonder what else is going on here, or like this is you know
Mhm.
it's so. And then like now I would think that we would now I think we also, and then we started doing this thing where we would just get into the jam and bring it down and forget the progression and just sit in like one key for a long time, which I think runs the risk of being boring. When we kind of came back in like 2010, we started doing that stuff. It was cool. We definitely got into some cool jams, but now I think using that, like, this is the standards approach, and let's just go. Like, I'm the guitar player. Normally it's me and Todd guiding the
Mhm.
ship, but we try and just mess with each other and listen to each other. Really, just listen as best as you can. I mean,
Mhm.
as best as you can. It's hard to do, and if forget about the audience, really, just because now we just don't have to worry about them. So we just kind of just sit back and let it happen. And it's funny because we found it on YouTube. Like, we played this gig, and we found that someone recorded the whole set from Peach Festival and they put it up on YouTube. It's audience recording, which I love because it
I have
sounds
no
like,
issues.
I think it's that's what I want to hear.
Soundboard, as an aside, soundboard recordings sound like a photographic negative.
I know they could be a little too crispy, and like, where's my reverb?
I want
Anyways,
crowd. Yeah, I want some
more
crowd in
crowd.
there. Yeah.
So we're watching it, and I was like, dude, this is fucking kick ass. We kind of start, you can feel it's just a little bit tight, but about halfway through the set, 60 minutes, halfway through the 60-minute set, boy, you could just see us just loosen up. And I was proud of us in the beginning, where I personally could, you're reliving this moment where I felt like, it's just, the sound's a little stringent and strident, maybe is the right word, but I'm being like, and then all of a sudden you just kind of just let it all happen, and we just let it happen. Didn't try and do anything. The first jam, I think we got right out of it, and then it just kind of enveloped into like this. Wow, this is really good. I think it's good. I had a
Right.
fucking blast.
Is it tough to push to push the musical boundaries and experiment while maintaining a cohesive sound?
Uh, Probably. I don't know if we're trying to push the musical boundaries so much. I just, um, I, I love, somebody. I'll say this. So my dad, when we played in Nectar's in October, there's a great we have a RAQ music is what it's called because there's all these different RAQ things. But RAQ music, if you go to YouTube, RAQ music, I put them up there. There's just 4 really nice multi-camera, and it's in Nectar's, and the sound is fucking killer. A lot of improv. Someone like my dad who doesn't play music, he's like, "What are you thinking?" I had to think about this, and I came back and answered. It's not. I don't know if I'm thinking. I'm like actually just. It's more of a reaction, right? Like that's
Active
like
listening.
you're reacting. You're reacting to what you're hearing. You play something, and then, oh, I could do maybe an open string would sound good here, and bring everything you've done before. I mean, you're not just coming up with something, but everyone's kind of reacting to what's happening, and it's like a series of reactions, right? And then in the perfect moment, the crowd is reacting to you guys reacting, and
That's when you get the.
I don't know if that answered your question, but I think it's less thinking and more reacting.
Right. Do you know the Super Suckers? Have you ever heard of them?
I don't know the Super Suckers.
The world's greatest rock and roll band. Look them up sometime on YouTube.
I'm gonna write down the name.
Their bass player, singer is a guy named Eddie Spaghetti. And I sent him a message. I was like, I'd love to interview you. And he's like, you're a jam band thing, man. He's like, I can't stand that shit. And I was like, I love your music, man. You're one of my 5 favorite bands in the world. He's like, come on. And I said, so why don't you like it? And he's like, sounds like they're making shit up. I want a beginning. I want a middle. I want a solo. I want an end. And I was like, that's a legitimate point.
Funny. When I listen to like John Coltrane, it doesn't sound like he's making anything up to me.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, or Miles or any of my, my favorite jazz greats. I was playing golf with someone probably a year ago. And I love jazz, honestly. And since I was, kind of when RAQ and music kind of stopped and real estate took over, I took a little break, focused on real estate. And then I was like, oh, I love guitars. I'm buying guitars. And I just got bored of my playing and kind of went back to when I was 13 years old or whatever, 15 years old and started I was like, I really want to learn these jazz things that I kind of left and went over here and did the jam thing or rock thing. And he was like, well, this is just a regular citizen who doesn't know music like someone like us. Anyways, he said, he's like, aren't you just making shit up? And I was like, oh man. Yeah, you're kind of reacting, but right. Jesus Christ, to get to the level of where you could just make shit up over that stuff, it's like, I mean, you're pretty much just being brilliant. I mean, for the most part,
right. This guy calls himself a song maker upper. He doesn't even call himself a lyricist or a songwriter.
I want to check him out. Jam bands, it has a. There's some stuff there.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.